about this policy application and see how incentives play a role in the policy application. We're going to be looking at 5 examples where the policy is needed. Those examples are common resources, principal-agent problem, prisoner's dilemma, taxes, and creative destruction. So let's start with common resource. Common resource is a good that everyone has access to and is limited in nature. For example, it's fish in the ocean, clean air, pizza at the party. So we all can get that good. It's all available to us, but it's limited in nature. Because of that, common resources, we can say that they're owned by everyone. So no person in particular is concerned about preserving this resource. As a result, this resource is often being overused. So once again, think about this simple example of pizza at a party. A lot of times you get invited to this, oh, free lunch, free pizzas, things like that. So you go there, there's plenty of pizza available, everybody has access to it. So what happens? Since you're really not paying for it, you can get as much as you want to. As a result, this resource is being overused. People can eat all the good stuff and leave all the bread unused. So we are overusing this resource. We're going to look at the problem that exists with common resources from an example of the tragedy of a commons. It's a very classical example that economists are studying. We are having the following setting. We are in a medieval town where sheep graze on common land. As the population grows, the number of sheep grows as well. The amount of land is fixed. The grass begins to disappear from overgrazing. People want to use land for free, but still don't want to use it with caution. As a result, no grass is left. People can no longer raise sheep. So here's we created a problem. We overused the grass. What can we do? What kind of policies can we have in order to overcome this problem? First, we can tax sheep. How is that going to solve a problem? With tax, we're providing people with incentives to limit number of sheep that they have. If you have to pay tax per sheep, the more sheep you have, the more tax you're going to pay. Some people may not want to pay extra money for having sheep, so they're going to start having less. They no longer want to have as much as possible as they did before. So tax a lot of times provides people with incentives to use less. We can regulate the use of the land. Here we're not necessarily providing people with incentives, but it's a valid policy. We can limit the use of land. For example, this year we're using the first half of the land and the next year we're using the second half. So even though there's no incentives here, at least we're still saving some land. We can auction off permits allowing the use of the land. What's going to happen? Like, let's say everybody gets a permit to have, let's say, 2 sheep. And you can sell those permits if you have less sheep. So only people who have sheep have to have permits. So what happens now? If a family wants to have 4 sheep, they will have to buy those permits from somebody else. If somebody doesn't want to have any sheep at all, they're going to sell their permits. So as a result, once again, we're providing people financial incentives to use less sheep. You want more, you're going to pay more. You're using less, you're going to pay less. Finally, we can divide the land, sell lots to individual families. So now each family will have incentives not to overgraze its own land. So in a way, we're converting this good from public into private. Once the good becomes ours, we take much better care of this good. So we're giving people incentives to preserve their own resource.